So Josh, if engineering were pasta, you would be 10 layers of fried lasagna.
Yes, and clogging arteries just like EVD. Welcome to Engineer vs. Designer.
The podcast, baby.
My name is Josh, mechanical engineer of SolidSmack.com.
My name is Adam, industrial designer of CADJunkie.com.
Each week's show is broken into 3 stereophonic halves. First, we'll bring you the cool stories in 3D CAD news and product design, courtesy of SolidSmack.com.
Followed by tips, tricks, and Q&A compliments of CADJunkie.com.
And this week we have the man keeping a close eye on the CAD industry, software programmer and head of 3D Systems India, the one, the only
Deelip of Deelip.com. If you could convert yourself into any CAD file format, what would it be?
Because it's such a mess.
We'll be hearing more from you as the show goes on. And by the way, in case you're wondering what the background noise is, I am sitting here at Chicago O'Hare International Airport recording the show live. And people are definitely looking at me funny right about now around the baggage claim carousel. Josh Mings of SolidSmack.com, we are peeling our eyelids back in anticipation of deeply meaningful commentary. What have you got for us?
This week's SolidSmack Update is brought to you by Clear Cut Solutions. Top Solid CAD CAM version 7 is rewritten, Windows 7 certified, and native 64-bit. Its combo of history-based indirect modeling is blowing my mind right now. Check it out at clear-cut.com. So, imagine this, completely unlimited, infinite storage of all your data. Bitcasa is making it happen, and how they're doing it is quite unlike anyone else. Instead of files, they transfer bytes. The files are encrypted on the client side, so nothing is known about the files.
Awesome!
They're also keeping costs low with data deduplicating algorithms, reducing actual storage needs. So this is passed on to you at a price of $10 per month for infinite storage. Beta is on at bitcasa.com.
You better believe I am waiting for that beta. And on the hardware side, we have known about it for months, but now the Wacom Cintiq 24 HD is available for purchase, and that 24-inch beauty comes with 2,048 levels of sensitivity.
Like Adam.
Which is a little bit creepy, Josh. Lacks swivel control and weighs in at a hefty 65 pounds. On the plus side, you can draw directly on it, just like any other Wacom screen, and just hit up Wacom.com, and it can be yours for a measly 2,500 smackers.
And back on the software side, Microsoft gave a deeper Apple ass kick and peek inside Windows 8 at the Build conference in Los Angeles. The new Metro-style touch-capable OS is pushing past the post-PC era with an interface designed to run on tablets to large workstations, turn on instantly, and run all day on a single charge. The developer's preview is available now, but you won't see IT peeps sweating about Windows 8 till 2013.
Have you ever seen a 3D printed skull? You are about to. A very ornate 3D printed skull at that. Josh has been obsessing over a Kickstarter project once again.
I am.
And I have to say, I don't blame him. Joshua Harker's Crania Anatomica Filigree project is set to change how artists create and present their work. The project has met its financial goals, but you still have time to back the project and snag a sweet SLS printed skull to carry around with you if you want. Search Harker Kickstarter for the details.
We're hitting art heavy this week, but if you want to see an incredible process that will take you outside your 3D modeling comfort zone, you need to check out the process David Sukup uses to create his amazing prints.
Silk screen and stencil.
Yes. Check out his work at sukupvisuals.com.
Okay, so infinite storage. Bitcasa's offering it almost seems too good to be true. What do you think, Josh?
Well, it's absolutely amazing. First of all, it looks like a lot of other services out there, maybe like Dropbox or Backblaze, where it's just backs up your files.
Sure.
But
yeah.
What they're actually doing is just taking bytes from the files and sending those across. They're not sending actual files names.
Right.
The data is encrypted on the client side and sent over to Bitcasa for storage. Amazing.
And this is really, really beautiful stuff. You know, I have always been a cloud skeptic, mainly for this reason, is because I'm afraid of my data being vulnerable to employees of Dropbox or whoever getting access to it. Not my data so much as my client's data. I need to protect that. And so basically this means that all of your data is client-side encrypted, so that if it doesn't matter who, you know, Barack Obama himself can go knock down the door of Bitcasa and tell them that they have to tell him what they have on their servers, and all they'll be able to give him is a bunch of gibberish.
Well, it sounds interesting, but let's see how it actually plays out, because you know, there's the long arm of the law and legislation which actually forces things down the wrong way every now and then. So let's see actually how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting. I think the whole thing, the idea of client-side encryption, obviously, is that the company Bitcasa is powerless to decrypt what's been stored there. So basically, doesn't matter how long the arm of the law is, they're not going to be able to get access to it.
Moving on, Windows 8 was revealed this week from Microsoft. So it's designed to work on tablet, notebook, laptop, desktop, or workstation. It's touch capable, and it's going to have a Windows App Store. It's setting in stone this touch-capable full-screen apps that are directed towards mobile use. So this is
in true form for Microsoft to be behind by a few years, but doing the exact same thing. Yeah.
But they're also crossing this divide. They're going past what the PC has been and what the tablet is, and they're bringing it across the whole spectrum. So it's certainly going to change how we design. So.
But realistically, Josh, I mean, you've just installed this, I believe, and so what's different about it? Why should we care?
Okay, it does have some very nice capabilities that are going to lend itself well to touchscreen interaction. Underneath all that, it's the regular Windows interface, a lot like Windows 7. There's not much change. You're not going to have to worry about your programs not working on it. There's faster access, faster startup times. So overall, it's a better user experience. You put this on devices that are touch capable, and you get a whole different experience, but you're still able to run the programs that you've always run, whether it's on tablet or PC. Ah, that made my tear ducts hurt.
Please put them back in your eyes. Thank you. We'll be right back. This week's CAD Junkie Q&A is brought to you by Clear Cut Solutions, bringing you Top Solid 7 Revealed, a new site where Top Solid 7 ninjas demonstrate an entire project start to finish with no smoke and mirrors whatsoever. This is a game changer, people. Check it out at clear-cut.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen of EVD, this week Josh and I are traveling and decided to hit the streets and ask some folks what they know about 3D printing. Right now, Josh is at the International IDSA conference down in Louisiana. I'm in New York, and intern Simon is in beautiful Portland, Oregon. And we set out to find out what people in the street know about 3D printing. Now, let me go ahead and apologize in advance for the audio quality. I don't think the iPhone mic was intended to work inside dance clubs. Stevie J, you might want to work on that for the iPhone 6. Anyway, here we go.
New Orleans, baby. I'm down in the French Quarter, and I'm going to ask some people about 3D printing. Let's see what they got to say. So, what do you do?
I'm a cook. I work in marketing. I'm a chef.
I wait tables.
I work at a financial agency.
I'm a bar back here. I'm a mime.
So lucky dogs.
I was wondering if you do you think there's a computer printer that can print 3D objects?
No, I don't think it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. No, nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
How do you think it would work?
In 3 dimensions. That when it would print out, it would suddenly be like a pop-up book that would just show up. It seems to me like it'd be almost like a digital CNC machine in a sense, or some kind of a, I don't know.
I think of those pop-up books.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I don't know, I don't know exactly how it's going to work, obviously, but
I think it would work also. I think it would be layer by layer, almost three-dimensional.
I'm not for sure, man.
So if you could like download something from the internet and like put it into the printer and print it out, what would you pick? Like you could print it out in plastic or metal. What would you print? What would you print out?
Janet Jameson's ass. More money. Gold bars. Probably a bottle of liquor too. A Ferrari. 1969 Camaro. The R2-D2.
The bag.
Copy mic. Guitars. All right. As many guitars as I can get. Spit freight.
pictures of Paris.
Maybe like a cross or something. I'm not,
Cross.
you know.
More radio?
Videos.
Videos? Pornos?
Okay, so it turns out that when you say 3D printing, most people seem to think of a pop-up book, and when you ask what they would like to print with said 3D printer, we got a Janet Jameson's posterior, more money, gold bars, bottles of liquor, a Ferrari, a 1965 Camaro, R2-D2, a bag, guitars, pictures of Paris, a cross, and porno. So special guest Deelip of Deelip.com, what do you think about that?
We look at CAD as if it is something to be used only by engineers and designers. And the truth be told, this CAD software industry is extremely small. This technology can be used in a bunch of other places. We just don't see it that way. We just think that, only an engineer is fit to use a history-based parametric modeler and try and build all these big walls around us, which keep us where we are, instead of spreading this technology in other places where it has a place as well. So what I want to do is actually take the technology that we have, build something more around it, and take it to everybody else, given the right user interface and given the right way.
Mm-hmm. So you'd agree that it is going to start to become more prevalent, more mainstream, maybe.
It will.
So on a totally different topic, 3D printing and this guy that's making these, 3D printed art pieces essentially and funding them through Kickstarter, crowdfunding. 3D printing is changing the way artists are able to create art pieces in addition to engineering. And I just think there are all kinds of possibilities there.
Yeah, see, the thing is, so 3D printing has been around for about 25 years or so, and it's quite well entrenched in the automotive, aerospace, jewelry, like medical stuff. And that's good. But that is a technology which should not be restricted to those areas only. It is so wide, so all encompassing that it can be used any and everywhere. The kids can build their own toys. People can 3D print food. Teachers can use the 3D printing to teach stuff. So it is not linked to engineering only, although its roots are and all the technology is, because the source to a 3D print is a CAD file. Now, a kid can't just come up with a CAD file.
Right.
Okay. No, it will happen. I mean, 8-year-olds to 80-year-olds are using email right now, right?
Right. 8-year-olds to 80-year-olds. I love that.
So the guys who started this email thing didn't think of it that way. Okay. When that happens, the price is bound to come down.
Adam, are those soggy Cocoa Puffs on the floor, or is your rabbit loose again?
We're gonna be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we warned you earlier. I present to you Deelip Menezes.
Okay, so first, let's get a little bit of history. You've been in the CAD industry for a long time. Why did you even choose that, and how has that changed for you over the years?
Well, I'm a mechanical engineer, and while I was studying engineering itself, I knew that I wanted to make software, so I just put 2 and 2, and that's where I ended up. I make software linked to mechanical engineering, and then now all kinds of engineering. So how it has changed over the years? I've turned into from an employee to an employer, and to somebody who's going to lead a division of a company in a country. So I guess it has changed a lot.
How so? I mean, like technology-wise or personal?
But both ways. You see, the things that when you work as an employee, you think differently, you act differently. When you become an employer, your head spins completely around, and you think in different ways. And when you're expected to lead a team and go and show results on behalf of somebody else, then you start to think in a third way. So for me, it's been a big journey. It's been a quite interesting one, and I think I've just it's only the start.
Mm-hmm. So on the software development side, you're pretty much you're sticking it to the CAD developers and converting their formats. You start out doing that, right? So that became big business for you. When did you see that opportunity?
This was way back in about 99 or so. I got an email from somebody who wanted to convert an STL file into, or rather read an STL file into AutoCAD. Now AutoCAD could spit out an STL file, but it couldn't read one. So I made a plugin. This was a small kind of contract job, and instead of giving the IP of that plugin to the customer, I actually kept the IP, and I said, I'll sell it to you for a lower price, but I'll sell it to others as well. And I just wanted to see, because if just one guy wanted that, somebody else may also want it, and that thing started to sell. So then one thing led to the other, and finally I ended up making a business out of data exchange, because that's a problem that no one wants to solve, and I'm doing my bit.
On another, now you've been covering the CAD industry for quite a while too. When did you start your blog actually?
I believe it was about 2006.
So in the same way, how has it changed since you actually started covering what everyone's doing?
Well, the blog changed everything, because I mean, before that nobody knew about a company called Cycode, because it was in the I always say I live on the wrong side of the planet. So it's true.
Yeah.
When I started writing, that's when people got to know me, and then they started asking themselves, okay, who is this guy and why is he saying all these things? And that's when they got to know about Cycode, and the whole thing started up, and I actually got quite a lot of hits from my blog to Cycode, which I'm quite sure ended up in sales as well. So that changed a lot. It got attention onto me, and I must admit that I used it to my advantage.
Yeah. So is that how it led you into creating software for 3D printing also then?
No, that was a different thing. My partner in Print3D, that's the US company which I own half of it. He contacted me with an idea, and he said that he wanted me to build a set of the plugins for him. So I liked the idea, and I told him that okay, fine, I'll build it, but don't pay me anything. I want in. So he realized that okay, he'll need someone to maintain the plugins in any case. So then we got into a partnership, and we created a company.
Are there resources out there you'd recommend for engineers and designers who want to be more involved in the production of their design and learning more about 3D printing? Or
that's a challenge actually, because the thing is that when the designers or engineers model their parts, they always imagine that they will be 3D printed in that same material. So if I'm designing something in steel, obviously I do it in a way in which the rules of designing steel come into play. But when you 3D print that part, it can warp. If the walls are too thin, it might split, and lots of things happen. So design for 3D printing is something quite important. That is a problem which has not been addressed neither by the CAD vendors nor the 3D printing manufacturers. And frankly, each one thinks it's the other one's problem. So maybe that is something which I would like to get myself involved in.
Deelip, having you on the show has been better than a seedy Las Vegas bar where a guy stabs a spike through his arm and smiles. And to all of you out there in EVD land, thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode. The bruises from last week are healing up nicely, and we are ready for more.
I can take it.
We do appreciate those comments, questions, suggestions, and gluten-free cake recipes.
Delicious.
Chime in on EngineerVsDesigner.com to tell us what you think.
And if you enjoyed this week's episode but don't want to let anyone know about it, simply hit those social sites and like like us, +1 us, or follow us. We love it when you do that.
Thanks so much to Bill Fiorito for the rockin' tunes in the background.
We'll see you next week, and remember, without engineers, designers would get their heads stuck in a fence and be eaten by squirrels.
And without designers, engineers would get their heads stuck in a fence and then be eaten by squirrels.
You copied me.
Squirrels?
You copied me.
Seriously?
That's cool.
Alright. I think that'll probably do it.